I met a gypsy.
Zach Butterfield, we're doing it.
We're here, finally.
Yeah.
I dogged you last time because I'm lazy.
I wouldn't say you dogged me.
I dogged you.
Did you dog me?
Nah, but I'm just lazy.
No, that's all right.
You're like, come to the podcast. I was like, oh, but the afternoon.
You do a lot of shit, though.
Oh, yeah, I'm always doing something, and that's probably why. Like, you know, I go home tomorrow, and I know that I have to get home. My entire afternoon's planned. You know, I got 3 videos to shoot tomorrow afternoon. Then I got to start writing for next week and stuff like that. So it's busy, but that's mainly because I'm on tour at the moment. You know.
Yeah.
But the next 2 months I have off. So and we get married in that time. So it'll be really nice and. Bit of time off and all that type of business. But the last 10 weeks has just been mad. We've been to America. We've been all over Australia. We've done massive shows and all that type of business. So, no, it's good to be doing work.
Does it feel weird after the 2 years? I mean, there's on one hand, it was so quiet, no touring, everything shut down. But the fucking internet came alive through that time. So, I mean, for us, internet business, we pretty much could just put out as much as we could make. So, in terms of like traveling and all the usual sort of stuff, dead quiet.
Well,
but then internally, like going hard, making shit, it was busy as fuck.
I was lucky, man. I developed a merch business on the back of it, you know, merch side of what I do, which was massive. And the money that I lost from not being able to perform, I covered with merch. So, and now I have both of those together, which is great, you know. And the thing with the internet is most people survive for 2 years. Yeah. I'm into my 4th, coming into my 5th year.
Is that like the internet life cycle?
Apparently.
Yeah. Okay.
Apparently. So, you know, you see all these TikTok guys that'll come through now. How many will be here in 2 years? It'll be a couple, but it'll be the ones that can adapt. Yeah. You know, the ones that, because I see a lot of guys that they do the same sort of thing over and over again. You need to develop something. You need to, like, at least I have stand-up, which is what I started doing. Yeah. And I developed an internet game on the back of that to sell tickets to that. You know, a lot of people start making videos and they go viral or whatever, and they get a lot of followers. And then they start doing stand-up because that's how they can make money. Yeah. For me, it was the other way around. It was a means to an end. Yeah. You know, I knew that with my style of stand-up, I wasn't going to get the gigs at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival Roadshow.
It's such like a tight-knit kind of industry too. Yeah. And it's definitely, from what I've kind of learned with like Luke and Lewis, is if you're on the outer, if you start on the outer and you don't almost do your apprenticeship in the traditional sense,
you're gone.
Then you're not getting into those rooms.
And you never will.
Yeah.
And so... the way it sort of works, at least when I was growing up, and maybe you're the same, when I saw stand-up, particularly Australian stand-up, it was only the Melbourne Comedy Festival Gala. Yeah. And that was on Channel 10 every year. Yeah. And it's not until recently that I learned that basically the way that works is all the big management companies get to pick like 2 or 3 people, and they represent their management company, and that's it. Yeah. So that's not me. That's never going to be me. No. You know, I'm not fit for the 8 o'clock broadcast when there's kids still awake. Although my special on Amazon is rated PG, which is hilarious. Really? Someone told me last night, they said, you know your Amazon special is rated PG? I was like,
that's quite
pretty
a liberal
sure I dropped
rating.
the C word in the first 2 minutes. So I don't know.
Have you watched it?
Watched it.
Like on Amazon? Maybe they.
I haven't watched it on Amazon, but I assume it's pretty much the same. If they cut out all the vulgar material and the offensive stuff, it's going to be just
very
fucking
short. It'll just be a trailer.
It's going to be a 10-minute fucking thing. But that was never going to be me. So I knew early on that I needed to sort of grow. Yeah. And grow my own sort of audience, and that's what I've been able to do over the last. And I'm sure you've experienced the same thing. These people who are. They become a part of your family online, and it's almost like a really extended fan group or friend group. Yeah, and everyone's sort of friends with each other. They all can relate in a certain way because they enjoy the same sort of thing. Yeah, it's the same with people who enjoy. Like I'm wearing a Joe Rogan podcast T-shirt, right?
So similar, dude.
Right. Yeah. So if you can
remember 2014, like if you were on the Rogan wave back then, you found another dude that listened to the podcast.
You listen as well. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Yeah, so 100%. It's like. You know, if you can get behind, you know, Gypsy Tales, the Butts Mum, whatever, you know that person is sort of similar to you, and you could be friends. Yeah. And that's what I love about the shows that I do, is that everyone who walks in enters into a contract where they know everything that's being said on stage is a bit fucked up, a bit silly, a bit funny, whatever. But they know it's not, most of it is not real.
Yeah.
It's all pretend. It's all said in the same vein that if we're mates at a pub, I'm going to say something fucked up just to make you laugh.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know a lot of people say you should never punch down in comedy. I think that's hilarious. I think you should coward punch, throw fucking spinning back fists, whatever you want to do, all right? Yeah. As long as you're making people laugh and you're taking them away from the mundane world that they live in, and just for half an hour, just for an hour, they forget about their problems. They forget about paying the mortgage. Their kids are doing this is happening, whatever. They've got an itchy crotch, whatever's going on. They forget about that and they laugh. And that's my job.
And it's like perspective too, you know. There's a way that you can address certain touchy subjects if there's a little bit of truth and humor kind of sprinkled in. It's like sweetening something that you don't really want to drink, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that comedy it's really good in that, for like that social commentary, and you can see how fucked up something is by kind of like laughing at it, and then maybe you take something away and be like, ugh, kind of fucked up.
Yeah. And I mean, I've got this whole bit that I do about, and it's a group of Aboriginal jokes. And the reason that it is an interesting bit is because the people that get offended by it are all white people.
White people, yeah.
They're the ones that get offended by it.
Yeah.
Because Aboriginal people know that this is, particularly people who know who I am, they go, oh, this isn't some fucking crazy racist dude.
Yeah.
This is just me just being a dickhead and making certain jokes that I find humorous and people all around the world have found humorous. And they understand that it's a joke. It's pretend. It's not real.
Yeah.
But people, for some reason, try to virtue signal the fact that they're so offended on behalf of someone else, which is nothing short of cultural appropriation. That's the real cultural appropriation, being offended for other people. It's hilarious. Like, who are you to be offended for someone else? That's crazy.
That's been one of the craziest little child things that have been birthed from the internet recently, is like the ability to tell people how morally sound you are and how amazing you are with like just your opinion on something. It's just like, hey, this actually does not count for fuck all.
Nothing.
And that you see it come in waves so much on the internet, is like the bushfires. Everyone was gonna be a fireman or everyone
pull someone out.
Then unfortunately, same thing, the floods, and then you see everybody it's like just
Ukraine,
this
the flag,
fucking wave of shit, and it's just like people don't understand that they're just like throwing out these like this morality, and then it like comes back in, and then they wait for another thing, and then they throw them and it's just like, who the fuck are you trying to, like, what are you trying to prove here?
This is the whole thing with signaling virtue. They're like, oh, look at me. This is how perfect and wonderful I am, and you should be a part of my life, or you should buy my business's products. It's the same with Pride Week, or Pride Month. How many businesses change the color of their logos or whatever, but they don't do it in the Middle East? Some countries where they throw gay people off buildings for being gay.
Yeah.
But you're not showing off how much you love people of the LGBT community. There. Why not? That's where it's fucking needed, you fucking twat.
Oh, man. 100%.
Mad.
And the real difference that you make is just boots on the ground. And it's like, if you're, a good example is like the floods. You get people that they go there, they put their feet on the ground where it's where it's actually needed. They actually do something. It's like, cool.
Yeah.
Like, good on you, man.
Good on you.
But then for the fucking million other people that just like carry on online, and then, I mean, you can't help these days with even the way that everything gets politicized. Like, as soon as a flood comes, then you look at just like every political party that's not the current government. They just start
blaming
fucking
everyone else.
It's just like, oh fuck, it's a flood. Like, it rains from the sky continuously for a long period. Like, where's the political fucking problem here?
Yeah, and I guess the blaming of climate change and things like that, I mean, that becomes politicized, and whether or not we should be doing this or that or the other, that's an argument for another time. I think you should try to not put shit in the atmosphere.
100%.
But also, let's not, carry on like it's the government that's been in for 4 years issue. Like this is a big problem that we all have to address over the next 100 years. And if we do something today, we're not going to see the benefits for it for 150 years or whatever.
Especially people that are just like, I get one thing I always think about is like, we're just born on a sinking ship. Yeah. Like, if you were born, I was born in 88. Like, the Titanic had hit the iceberg.
Yeah.
When in so many like areas of society, colonization. What a fucking shitstorm that is. Well, I was born in 1988. We'd well and truly hit the fucking iceberg there. Climate change, and people want to carry on like it's some kind of, we all bear some kind of responsibility. And it's just like, fuck. Do we really need to have any perspective that like you're a 30-year-old, a 40, a 50, like you're on a sinking ship, bro,
But then there's the issue, like, do you not do anything?
No. You definitely
have to do something, but also you can't.
But we argue about hate, and we argue about blame.
Yeah.
When it's like, hey, we're all born after the kind of the tipping point here to where like this is a huge problem. You know? So to me, it's like, okay, I'm not to blame for colonization in any country. You know what I mean? Should we be a part of a solution?
Yeah.
100%, that makes sense. But in terms of playing blame and, the kind of like anger that goes with it, it's like, that doesn't make sense.
Well, I've been sort of, I've said this in a couple of videos that I've made. And I guess when I make a video, sometimes if it's political, it's almost like a statement. People would take it as a statement.
Yeah.
But when it comes to white Australia's relationship with Indigenous Australia, I feel like at some point it needs to become like how the Maori get on with white New Zealanders. Like where there is absolute respect and you both understand that you're both a part of the same story at this point.
Oh, for sure.
Because everyone who was born as an Aboriginal person in Australia now has been here as long as I have. It's both our country, and let's find a way to honour Indigenous history and white Australian history, bring it together. Never forget the atrocities of the past, but at some point you have to go, okay,
anyone that's alive now, it's not their actual fault.
No, what can we do though to work out all the shit that's happened, because there is enormous amounts of shit that's happened, but what can we do to move forward? Because this constant division between white and black is ridiculous. But it happens all over the world as 100%, well. 100%, and it has done for forever. Yeah. Like, whether it's, African people being stolen from their homes and transported to America to be slaves, or whether it's other people in South America killing people who are slightly browner than... It's a whole fucking thing.
The Irish was like one of the most enslaved populations. Like,
so we were talking about this yesterday. When people say, "Oh, it's white Australians who came over here," I've got Irish heritage. I've got Scottish heritage. I don't have English heritage. This isn't so much people, from England. This isn't just white people from the UK.
Yeah.
This is the fucking English that did it. So if we should blame anyone, it's the English, right?
English,
it's the Queen, it's Prince Philip's ghost, it's everyone.
100%.
But it's these people, everyone's been enslaved. What the Vikings did, horrible shit.
Yeah.
And then everyone in fucking Denmark carries on.
The Mongols, they fucking owned all of the world at one point.
They raped and pillaged everyone.
Yeah.
Killed children.
Yeah.
So it's not so much a white thing to do to someone who is a coloured person, which is a weird thing to say nowadays, a coloured person, but a person of colour, which is exactly the same as saying a coloured person. It's not so much what white people have done, it's what human beings have done to each other.
100%. And like, if you look at the motivating factors, so you've got these new group of, colonizers that have gone to the Americas. They're just looking for the cheapest fucking slaves. Like the West Africans, they were probably just cheaper than the Irish.
Yep.
You could guarantee that history would look completely fucking different if the Irish or whoever were the cheapest people that you could get. Yeah. It's not a racial thing. I'm sure that there's some culture that gets born out of it that obviously becomes a racial thing. But that's purely just a dude looking at a fucking spreadsheet hundreds of years ago and going, well, we got to go with these ones. They're the fucking cheap ones.
It comes down to money.
And a lot of times they were sold. It was like black West Africans that were sold by black North Africans.
That was the whole thing, wasn't it? Most of them were sold by Africans themselves to white people.
Just humans being cunts to humans.
And that's the thing when it comes down to it. The reason that we have arguments with our neighbours is because human beings are inherently flawed by the reason of we are human beings.
100%.
We're bad people, and down to the core, a lot of us are bad people. But either it's well hidden or we become good people as we grow. And I think that this constant division that is created by people in the media and politicians
100%.
and it's just so unnecessary.
If it bleeds, it leads.
And it does.
Yeah.
And it really does.
You know this in the content game?
Absolutely.
It's fucking crazy.
The story that you do that's the most outrageous often gets the clicks.
Yeah.
And it's the same in the media and all that type of stuff. I just hate the idea, excuse me, I hate the idea that someone would grow up feeling like they are worth less than a white person because they have brown skin or black skin or whatever. And it's the same with, I hate the idea that women, young women, girls in primary school are being told you won't be able to achieve the same as a man. Why? Because you're a female. I hate that shit. I want everyone to be as equal as possible. And that's not achieved through saying, hey, we need a quota. It's achieved by everyone going, hey, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, it's bad ideas. Like when you said that everyone's like a little bit of a bad person, to me, I just think that there's people with bad ideas, like super fucking bad ideas. If you want to be a terrorist, terrible idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you could probably be a decent person. Like you could probably have a wife. You could probably play footy with your kids.
What path you
and
choose.
Be a terrorist
Sure.
at the same time. And that's proven. Like there's guys that were like living in America and they were, you know, kind of weird oddballs ostracized from society, but they were like a normal dude that then got radicalized by fucking Islam.
Yep.
And then is like now a terrorist.
Well, same as school shooters.
Same shit. That's like just really fucking bad ideas.
Yeah.
So I think that what we have is just a super bad idea problem. And if race is a thing that you think about in 2022, it's just a super silly idea. It should be as rudimentary as like eye color, hair color. It's just, there's no difference. Yeah.
And I think it is inbuilt into us to an extent of if you walk down the street and you see 4 giant black dudes walking on one side and 4 white dudes on the other, and you're a white guy, you're probably going to choose the side that has the white guys on it.
Yeah.
Based on the point that any other time we've seen someone in history that looks different to us, bad things happen.
Yeah.
And that's ingrained. But we are...
There was a study, sorry to cut you off here. There was a study, I listened to some audio yesterday of basically like facial recognition of basically you had these faces that were shown to you. There was like 6 white and 6 black, and there was different facial expressions on each of the faces, and then a person had to assign a word to the facial expression, and basically even the black people assigned more what you'd call like aggressive, like those kind of words, to the black figures over the white figures. Even black people would do that.
So is that built in because of what we've seen, let's say through American
I don't know.
history with how... And a lot of that stems back to, okay, these people were treated as slaves, or they were slaves, and then they were put into black-only communities where there wasn't job opportunities, where there was shit housing, where there wasn't... That's
where I will fully get on board with the whole systemic racism thing.
Because that is real.
Yeah.
That is very, very real.
100%. I don't find... Man, I grew up in Cairns, so we had like a lot of exposure to the Aboriginal community. And I just don't find many individually racist people these days. I just don't know that there's like that many out there. But definitely systemic racism is still a thing. And I mean, there's a crazy law in the States. It's like well documented, but basically like crack cocaine possession versus cocaine possession.
Yeah.
One you get... It's like a minimum of 18 years in jail. The other one is basically nothing. It's the exact same chemical. The only difference is one's ingested in the black community, one's ingested in the white community. Yeah. That's fucking it. Yeah. And there is hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that have been incarcerated under that
and
law.
Those laws won't change because the private prison system.
Yeah.
They will lobby
and again,
against
that's money. That's not racism. That's just straight cash.
Yeah. And it goes back to buying slaves.
Yeah.
What's the cheapest you can get? If
100%.
it's from West Africa, okay, we're going to do that. Are we going to lock up people with crack cocaine? Let's do that.
Yeah.
And it's, as you said, when it comes to bad people, well, not bad people, but bad ideas, I don't think people are racist. I just think the same person that looks at a black person or a brown person and thinks they're less of a person than them is the same person who's going to kick their dog. Or hit their missus, or do something fucking horrible.
Yeah, their head's just full of bad ideas.
It's just, and it comes down to what their parents were like, and it comes down to the people they're around.
For sure,
all that shit. Like if you think that it's okay to hit your wife, you're probably going to be the same person that sees a group of Aboriginal people and hates them just because they're Aboriginal people.
Well, you've had Abbo on the podcast. What a fucking crazy lot. How could he be anyone other than him?
Yes.
Like, the odds. It would be... That would make me believe in God.
Yeah.
If like that dude didn't turn out to be one of the gnarliest cunts in the universe.
And from what I've heard from people who were around him at the time, he was the baddest.
Yeah.
But a lovely guy.
Hey, again, there's no bad people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, he's a fucking good person. There is bad people. There's definitely evil people. But
sure.
In terms
few
of...
and far between.
But
perhaps.
A person that is just bad, just a rotten fucking egg, like a rotten to the core, there's no good inside that person, that would be quite rare to find.
So when I had never heard of him until I met him at Gary Jubilin's show. And then I looked him up... Because Gary, who was the lead investigator on the William Tyrrell the William Tyrrell investigation, you should have him on your show. He's great, legend, lovely guy. And Gary introduced me. He goes, "Oh, this is Graham Abbo Henry," and I was like, "Okay, cool, nice to meet you, brother."
Sick.
He's just an old dude there with his wife, and I didn't know who he was. And I looked him up in the car on the way home. I was like, "Holy shit!" And then I saw you interviewed him. I was like, "Oh my god,
yeah,
this is crazy."
Bro.
And then as soon as I looked him up, I started getting up all these TikToks and stuff from you, and I was like, "Wow, this is a crazy story." But the amount of violence that man ingested into his mind during his childhood, and then as he grew up into an older person or an older child, there's no way he was going anywhere else.
Nah, man.
Like, you would have to... The mold to break there was so impossible that it would never happen.
Yeah.
And he... You know, it's a testament to you are the surroundings you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. And, I mean... You know, growing up with your father, your stepfather, or was his stepfather?
I think it was his father.
His father, just belting his mother regularly, like almost on a daily or weekly basis.
Yeah, just a full drunk.
Just a drunk.
Did he tell you that his old boy was in the war?
Yeah, riddled with PTSD.
Got injured in the war?
Yep.
Yeah. But then you go back a layer, so you're like, makes sense why Graham was so fucked up. You go back a layer. Well, makes sense he was fucked up.
Absolutely.
Like, I see, we sort of grew up in like a housing commission neighbourhood in the south of Cairns.
Yep.
And, man, there's so many kids that I grew up with from like a 5, 6, 7-year-old, you know, and then we're kids, like friends as kids, and then they come from that side of the neighbourhood, and then we're like right here. And then we've got a normal family, and like I got a mum and dad that love each other, and I've like my family stay together. And then fucking little Johnny, same deal. Dad just flogging the piss out of his mum and fucking flogging the piss out of him.
Yeah.
He finds drugs super young, and that's like now he's in fucking jail. And there's so many of my friends are like that, and I know from like being inside the walls of that house, like times where his dad would like flog his mum in front of me, and you're just like, fuck, man, like I'm just a kid here and I'm seeing this shit. Imagine what the fuck goes down when I'm not here, you know?
Yeah.
So then you see, and like his life played out the way that his life played out, and it's fucking sad. But I look at it, I'm like,
what'd you expect?
What chance did he have? Like, literally, what chance did he have?
There was a little kid at the State of Origin the other night, and his dad yells out, you know, fucking whatever. And then he yells out something very similar, and he's like 7 years old. And you know that kid's going to follow in that same trajectory, and there's going to be no deviation. Unless he really, really tries. Like, I have deviation from my parents. Like, my old man, like, footballer, tough as nails, and that's just not me. You know, he does all these real, like, you know, when he was growing up, he grew up in Penrith and was arrested and was in fights all the time. And that's just not me. I'm in a completely... And that wasn't his parents' fault. That was just the people he was around. Because he was growing up in, not housing commission, but as close to it as possible. Yeah. You know, in Mount Druitt, in fucking basically gang violence.
Yeah.
And then there's me, who grew up with, you know, as you said, two parents that loved each other in a very nice area, all that type of stuff. And so I just never had that.
Yeah.
But... you see other people. There was recently a guy I went to school with who died in a car crash, and he was involved in some around some dodgy people and stuff, and you could see the fall.
Yeah, you just see the trajectory.
You know, you see this young kid growing up, and then he hangs around the wrong people, and you see the fall.
Yeah.
I saw another photo of a kid that my brother went to school with, and he's around some people I know who are in the drug game, and he just sort of has started hanging around with them, and I know where he's going.
Yeah,
you know the path. So it's sad to an extent, and then you understand that these people are born as children, and this then but
it's like it's everyone, and I guess to go back to that kind of like, the bad people and like the hating online and virtue signaling and stuff, like if people could have this perspective of whoever you're fucking lashing out at online, or whatever side you're going, they're just more people, man.
Yeah.
They're just more people that have grown up in these like weird fucked up situations.
Yeah.
They've all got this like crazy annoying voice in their head that they can't control. And it's just like, that's just the fucking human condition. We're all pretty much like struggling at a different level,
Everyone's like that. Some 100%. People are barely getting by, but everyone is struggling in some respect. And we all have that head noise, and we all have this something that we're trying to get through or get over or get past, and it all manifests in different areas within our lives, whether that's anger, whether sadness, depression, anxiety, or just violence.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't do anything. And or it builds up and you're a school shooter, or it just you're stoic enough to deal with it all, and you get to the end of your life and nothing ever happens. And we all know people like that, who particularly like grandparents and stuff like that, who have dealt with horrible things in their lives but never really spoken about it or any of those type of things. Like I think about my pop, who it just keeps to himself. Always has.
I always wonder about that, when you get real old. I was literally just thinking about this the other day. Am I just going to be one of those old guys that just doesn't say anything?
That scares me, man.
Like, you just like... Because what was I thinking about it? Oh, we just got back from a pretty gnarly trip. It's like one of the busiest I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
And we were in Europe, and then we got straight home. Then we flew to do this race in Perth, and it was just full on. Like a lot of people, and I felt like I was playing like a bit of a role the whole time in a sense. And then I just like got home, and I was like, I ain't fucking talking. I'm not talking to anybody. And then for some reason I was just doing some washing or something, and I just thought about what you said. My granddad just never said a word. And it's like, when you're 80, are you just fucking over it?
What do you think about all that?
Yeah. Does the noise go away and you just fucking do your shit? Like,
I really wonder that. And I wonder that about people I've played footy with in the past that are just dead shits. Like, what do you think about all day? Because I'm thinking about all these things like,
it's elaborate.
Right? Like, I might drive along, or I might listen to a podcast or whatever, or something flashes up and Neil deGrasse Tyson's talking about something to do with the universe, or there's a Marcus Aurelius quote that I see, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I might think about that for a couple of seconds or a minute.
Yeah.
What are these people thinking about all day? Yeah. Like, what goes through their mind? Like, are they just think is nothing? Does that exist? Is nothing a thing? Like,
I reckon.
Can you sit there and just... Like, because I know blokes that are just like nice people, but just the dumbest of humans.
Yeah.
Like, what goes through their mind all day? Are they just thinking about the surf?
I'm neurotic as fuck, Like, I'm just, the wheels are turning 24 hours a day.
I feel you.
And yeah, like, I do a fair bit of meditation. I don't know if you fuck with it at all.
I used to do float tanks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah, I enjoyed them. Very relaxing. I just fucking haven't for a while.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I think the meditation thing's good, but it makes you understand that you just can't really control your mind. Like, I think that's like...
That's the lesson.
Yeah.
Like, when people try to do mindfulness, they try to stop everything, and that's impossible.
Yes.
Apparently. Maybe some people can stop it. Some real experienced dead shits, they can stop it.
Yeah.
But
either super unexperienced dead shits or
super,
really...
like a
really
yogi master.
Yeah.
Like the Dalai Lama's got nothing going on in his mind. Is he dead? Maybe that's why. No, he's still alive.
He doesn't die.
He does. That's right. He doesn't die. He just keeps on living.
That's a real interesting fucking deal.
Oh, mate. The whole, like, the respect that people give to religion, nah.
Not for you.
Grow up.
What about the Dalai Lama?
I'm sure he's beautiful.
Yeah. But do you know how it works?
So it's sort of like a new person is born and they are then just... Yeah. How are they chosen? Is it like choosing the Pope, like there's a vote, or...
I don't know. Look that up, Rones, actually. That'd be good to know. But the process basically...
Go on, Jamie.
It's just real weird about just identity in general.
Yes.
Because it's like basically it'll be these kids or guys that are kind of in this monastery, And then they basically will just like pick from, hey? How would you spell it? Yeah, D-A-L-I.
Llama.
L-A-M-A.
Delhi Llama.
The deli.
The Delhi
llama in the deli?
Deli. You're very trustworthy with your internet search history.
Yeah, I don't use this computer much.
I bet you don't.
If it was my iPad, different story.
I've got a blue tongue. Am I going to die? That's what I was saying that story the other day. As you talk about being neurotic, I had a blue tongue one day after we'd been out for dinner and stuff, and I started Googling it.
Did you eat blueberries? Or
no,
something?
I hadn't eaten anything blue all day, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I start Googling it. It says you're deoxygenated. You need to go to the hospital. And I'm laying in bed panicking, and Claire's next to me, and I'm like, "Fuck, what am I going to do?" And then I think back, what else have I eaten? I had an ice cream cone that was like, it had the cone itself was like a dark bluish color, but for an hour I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
So like you go through my search history and it's all like, oh my god, I've got anyway, I'm a fucking psycho.
Stoned WebMD. There's no greater anxiety than getting stoned as fuck, noticing some kind of ache or pain, and then going on WebMD. You 100% think you're going to die.
Death.
And then you have a panic attack.
Yep.
And then that just like double down confirms
it's a terrible way to be.
Been there so many times.
I had dry needling done, acupuncture done once, and I had a bit of a pain in my back, like right in the middle of my back.
1 in 100 people dies from that.
Well, I found that out from fucking Googling it, right? And I had a pain, and apparently, like, some people go too deep with the needle and they get their lung, what's bloody called, a deflated lung. That's definitely not what it's called. Punctured lung. They get a punctured lung from acupuncture. So for a day, I was driving around going, no, yeah, my lung's punctured.
Sure, have a punctured lung.
Dalai Lama.
Righto.
4.5 years old. The current Dalai Lama was enthroned, opposite of dethroned, I guess.
Yeah.
When he was 4.5 years old and renamed Tenzin Gyatso. Wow. Okay, so the search for him soon became... am I reading this? You're the fucking host.
All right. You're doing it.
The search for him soon became... The search for him began soon after the 13th Dalai Lama died. Disciples close to the Dalai Lama set to identify signs indicating the location of his rebirth. So someone gets born and then they try and find him.
Yeah, basically. But it's like within the monastery, I'm pretty sure. There's like a whole kind of group that they can kind of pick from.
Further tests and signs are required to ensure the proper child is found. Wow. Okay. So they... Okay.
It's a lot going on here.
Oh, shit. Okay. In the case of the 13th Dalai Lama, after his death, his body lay facing south. However, after a few days, his head had tilted to the east. A fungus, which was viewed
awesome.
as unusual, appeared on the northeastern side of the shrine containing his body. This was interpreted to mean that the next Dalai Lama could have been born somewhere in the northeastern part of Tibet. So they're just going by the body.
Yeah, they're just, it's a vibe.
Like the rigor mortis picks in and they're just like, points at you. What the fuck?
His dick comes up in a sundial. Just like points fucking straight on someone.
Just starts spinning around. It's like spin the dick bottle for the Dalai Lama.
So they're just they're after a vibe. Basically.
A 2-year-old boy named Lahamo Thondap was the right age for the reincarnation of the 13th Dalai Lama based on the time of his death. Wow, so they found him and they named him.
Thank God.
What a search.
It's wild, eh?
Well, there was mold growing on the back of his foreskin pointing towards this small village in Tibet. Oh God, we're racists. No, so that's what it's like. If you say anything negative about any religion, you're a racist. It's hilarious.
Yeah, 100%.
You can talk as much shit about Christianity, which you should.
True.
Grow up.
Arguably the worst one.
They're all terrible.
It's as maybe not as it's as bad. The Crusades. Like, let's be fucked. Yeah. Let's call a spade a spade. It's as bad.
It's all bad. They're all terrible. They're all
real bad idea. That's a real
religions
bad idea.
Are terrible, but I get it. I get why people are religious, and this is why they're so deeply, constantly searching for a deeper meaning to life and a deeper understanding of politics, and they have to have it because that's their religion.
Yeah.
Like that's modern day religion is politics, or is what gender you are, or is, whatever you do with all your time. You see it with people who get into jiu-jitsu or rugby league or rugby union or whatever, or they find someone, their partner. That's their religion. That's that you have to become obsessed with something. And I wonder if that's to do with like the meaning of life or whatever.
I think it's identity, right? Like the Dalai Lama is a perfect example of this. So
That's a sentence you've never said before.
Yeah. But there's so basically it's like identity, right? So this kid that gets born or whatever, like they basically strip his identity. So there's no personal sense of self. You just embody this self that's already been like created for you. So I think that we're all attached to our own self and our own identity. And I think that most people we all just spend our entire life like cultivating this identity, and that's super tied to the meaning of life. Like your identity, you'd see, like you said, jiu-jitsu, CrossFit, veganism, like people can tie their identity to fuck almost anything, man.
Because they become a part of something else.
And it's, exactly. It's like this higher meaning, and it's this, like purpose for their life. Because I think that is kind of the real secret of life, is like it's fucking is meaningless. Like the meaning of life is to make meaning of your life, and people just do that in fucking bizarre ways.
And we're also trained in a way with school to get up every morning, and this is what you do, right? And you go to school for 8 hours or 6 hours or whatever it is, and then you get out of school and you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. What am I doing? It's like people when they get out of the army.
Yeah.
Like they're lost because they've had their whole life.
Retire from footy.
Or retire from a sport where they're told this is where you need to be at this time, this time. And it happened for me with YouTube. I stopped working after when I went on my first tour. I had enough money coming in that I didn't have to work.
What did you do?
I worked in marketing for a while. I made videos for a company, a freight company, and tried to make it interesting. Enthralling. Well, I tried to make it all about Newcastle, where I'm from.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of history videos. And fuck, I love Newey, man.
Yeah, me too.
It's so much better than anywhere else. Yeah. Like I know where we are right now is very nice, but man, just
something about Newey, the Steel City,
the workers. Area.
That's the blue collar Australia right there.
Isn't it? Everyone's just like,
hot women too. Hot women.
Little dicky, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you from Newey?
Oh yeah. We grew up just around the corner from each other. Went to the same preschool, primary school. Preschool? Everything. And high school.
Fuck, that's hectic.
But she was 3 years below me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I, obviously in year 6 I didn't pull any moves, but
no, it would have been weird. What's the age where it's not weird? Year 12, year 9, still weird.
No, that's fucking heaps weird. Too many people.
That's the weirdest probably.
Too many people. No, you don't.
12 and 9. I was like,
don't say that. You'll freak everyone out. Heaps of people think that's okay.
I don't know.
Like people are like, oh yeah, like he's 18, but someone messaged the other day said, oh, I can't make your show. My boyfriend bought tickets. He's 19, but I'm only 16. And I was like, fucking alarm bells. That's not okay.
It's legal, though.
I don't give a fuck if it's legal.
Yeah, see, that one sounds better than year 12, and year 9.
Yes.
That just sounds like such a gnarly difference. But then, like,
it's only
year 12
a year difference.
But year 12 and year 10, fine. Completely above board. But I don't know.
I don't know.
16 and 19,
until you're in your 20s,
probably not.
Until you're in your 20s, just find someone your own fucking age. Well, no. Let me rephrase that because that sounds even weirder. Yeah, when you're 20, date a 16-year-old. No, what I'm saying is you can date someone 3 years younger than you. No, 2 years younger than you. Fucking Jesus Christ.
Step back and let's really clarify.
Okay. Until you're 50, you can't date anyone 3 years younger than you. That's what I'm saying.
Fair. All let's leave it at that.
Well, Claire's 26. I'm 29. Well, you're nearly 27, Claire, and I'm nearly 29.
Let's be honest. You're nearly 27.
She's basically 27, Your Honor. What are you talking about?
You're right.
So I just think that if you're under the age of 20 and they're under the age of 20, just fucking, you know what?
20s and teens just shouldn't mix, basically.
Yes. Or asexuality. That's what I'm picking now.
Asexuality.
I'm becoming asexual. I'm doing rooting. No one's attractive. You're all
semen retention.
That's what I'm about.
Oh,
I love
weirdos on the fucking internet. You know what I love seeing? You know what I love seeing? I love seeing people on the internet, and then I'm like, they're kind of weird, but they kill it at YouTube and they kill it at what they do. And then like 3 years later, semen retention. I'm like, I fucking knew it. I knew you were a cunt.
It's big.
I knew you were a cunt.
It's big right now. Like the whole no fap thing. Have you ever done no fap?
No.
Fucking fap it off.
No, I actually did. I had no sex for 18 months, but I fapped. So.
You had no sex for 18 months. I had no sex for 18 years, so you can just shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Hey, why'd you have no sex for 18 months?
Just COVID, long distance.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had a partner at the time?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a fucking challenge.
That's tough.
It was a real challenge.
Where was your partner?
She was stuck in China of all places.
Gee, fuck that.
Yeah. I learned some weird shit about China. Real weird shit about China.
That's a whole different fucking story.
Fucking story.
But yeah, as far as the no fapping thing, like you see it a lot with younger guys on TikTok. So they're like 18 years old or 19, probably 19, let's say, because they've had the 18.
Find it.
What are we finding?
No fap on TikTok. I want to see some of these young weirdos.
Yeah, let's go no fap TikTok, because they are like, they've had a year of going out and they've, you know, met a couple of girls, and now they've had one breakup, and then they're like, right,
fuck this. Never in my life.
Now we're going to shut Will Gibb up. I like Will. He's a comedian from Sydney. He's a very funny guy.
Fuck yeah.
His bio on TikTok is, you know how like when you're in like high school, it's like footy, year 7. He's his year 7, and he's gay. He goes, year 7 footy cock. No search results for no fap.
Go just
bullshit.
Yeah, close that space down maybe.
Oh, I tell you to look up my TikTok, but I got banned yesterday.
Did ya?
Again.
Fuck, they're gnarly, eh? We're so on the borderline with it, man.
I got banned the other week for saying men can't have babies. I got permanently banned, then I got it back.
That's a fact.
Well, apparently not. And then I got banned yesterday for making a video about New Zealand. So I got done for racism for the whole country.
But it's not right. It's like, fuck, what's the analogy here? But it's like, it's not racist when it's New Zealand.
It's a whole country. It's full of people of all different colours.
Yeah, fucking and it's idiots. Just like it's like when you say you can't punch your brother.
Yeah.
No, I can punch him. It's not assault when it's my brother.
If it's someone else's little brother.
Yeah, if it's anybody other than my brother, no, I can't punch him in the face.
It's ridiculous.
But my brother, I can.
And they barred me, so I've got to go through the back channels to try and get it back. Anyway, so
Jordan,
I think it's
no fap is useless. Let's go to the fucking.
What about Tate? What's old mate Tate's name? He's everywhere.
Who's that?
Have you seen this guy?
No.
Tate. What's his name? Does anyone know his name? Tate Clips. What's his name? Andrew Tate. Yeah. Hello. What's wrong?
Just a hair.
Did I have a bit of a hair issue?
I wouldn't call it an issue. I liked it.
Okay, there we go.
So what's his name? Who are we looking for?
So this is Andrew Tate, and he's.
Oh, this is him.
In general, if you watch porn now and again, is it going to destroy your life? If you abuse porn, it's all you watch is going to destroy your life. But that's the same with anything. If you drink vodka sometimes.
I like his attitude towards this. Seems very fair.
He's got some weird attitudes towards women. I will say that. He's got some weird attitudes towards women.
So what's his deal? He looks like Diet Pitbull.
Pitbull on keto.
Yeah, keto Pitbull.
Keto Pitbull. I'm trying to find one. He's like.
My girlfriend, she was a vegan. I didn't know she was a vegan. Unfortunately, I found out. She said, "Oh, I'll never cook meat for you." I said, "Look, well, I'll be honest with you right now. We're gonna end up splitting up because you're living in my house and I'm paying the bills. And if I want steak, you're cooking it."
21 Savage in the background.
That's got 1 million likes.
That's crazy.
People love him. So I agree with him with that one. The vegan thing. Obviously, I have to agree with that.
You've got to stand on that.
I got to stand by. I got to die on that hill.
Yeah.
But other things he said about women is a bit how you doing. I mean,
where's he from?
I think he's in like a. He's always driving around in a Bugatti and stuff. So I don't think but I think he's also in America. So he does this podcast where he gets all these chicks in, and then he's just. Have you seen that guy?
Is it called Fit and Fresh?
Yeah.
So
I think so.
Fit and Fresh? No, this is a different guy, isn't it?
It's something to do it's got fresh in it. I'm quite sure it's got something to do with fresh in it. But he's just like, what about this one up here? Top one. Go across one more. See all the chicks in it?
Yeah.
That's sort of what it's like. No time for hoes. That sounds like something.
Preach.
Okay, just so you guys know, if I had to choose between a roundhouse kick in the head from you or a blowjob knowing your history, I'd probably choose the roundhouse kick in the head.
Savage.
How good's like the shit quality? Zoom in on him, just sitting there like, yeah, mate. Nah, he's
the other dude that hosts that Fit and Fresh podcast. I like that other dude. He says some kind of like out there shit, but they're pretty fucking they're pretty spot on with a fair bit of their commentary.
He is. He said some things about, like, there was this one where he was like,
but then they go into the clickbaity space. Like they take it's almost like jokes in a sense, you know.
Yeah. Oh, it was like when I put out this video saying that I don't like chicks with hairy underarms, and I said female body hair is disgusting, right? Now, so that gets stitched.
Yeah.
And everyone starts like
which
blowing
you're saying
up.
In hyperbole.
Yeah, because
you're not going to physically throw up when you see it, but you might gag.
Potentially. I basically, well, with that much hair, you expect to gag on a cock. That's how bad it is. But I basically said in the video, female body hair is disgusting. Now, I'm not talking about a couple of days of growth. I'm talking about big hairy bushes, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about like vag bushes. I'm talking about underarm hair. This is what I'm talking about in the video. That gets clipped, sent everywhere, right? And it's ridiculous how wide this goes. It goes super, super viral. I'm getting abused from every country, every corner of the globe, and I'm used to that shit. It does not bother me at all.
That's literally part of your job description.
Yeah, absolutely. And what comedian out there doesn't cop shit about that?
You're probably not being that funny if you're not making a fuck ton of people mad.
Absolutely. Look at Ricky Gervais, Joe Rogan, all those type of people. So anyway, I get contacted from Dr. Phil.
No.
Well, Dr. Phil's people. But let's just pretend Dr. Phil calls me. Hi, Zach. That's a terrible impression. But Dr. Phil's producers contact me. They want me on the show. They're going to bring on some body hair people and all this type of stuff.
Yes.
All that shit.
Yes.
It gets to the point, like it goes so far that I do the sound check, right, for it. And they pull out last minute, like the day before. Don't know why. But I did this.
So you were here?
Yeah. I was in Newcastle. But it was going to be fucking awful.
Oh my God.
I was going to get smashed by Dr. Phil. But what nearly happened, which would have been even worse, was in my studio, my podcast studio. I got a table like this, right? And we sit either side and we have a camera that shoots straight up. And I've got an American World War II helmet, an Australian one, and a German one.
Yeah.
Now, the shot that we were filming
had the German
one.
Oh, fuck it up.
Fucking the eagle.
It's the armpit Nazi himself.
Oh my God, I know. And I was like, oh no. I said to the producer or the sound guy, I was looking at the shot. I was like, you know what? He goes, what? I said,
that's 100% why they pulled out.
I said,
100%.
No, I moved it. So okay. I swapped it with the I put the American one there. And it was fine, but it nearly went to air with a German helmet
you
behind
got
me.
Fucked.
Imagine that. Even Neil Kolhatkar, who's a friend of mine,
funny dude,
very funny guy, been around for a minute, and it's great to see him and Frenchie still doing well because they have been around for so long. And it's like what I said before, that 2 year or 2 or 3 or 4 year career for people on the internet, and then it just goes to nothing. They've managed to keep it going for almost a decade now for both of those guys. Anyway, so Neil hits me up. This is when I first started making videos, 2018. And he says, mate, I'm doing a video about something to do with Nazis. Like something, it was a funny video idea. And basically he wanted me to dress up as Hitler. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do that. Why not? And I end up pulling out because I had something to do that day. And I end up pulling out the week before. 2 weeks later, I get done with the Holocaust thing.
You had something to do, or you had something to do?
I was just chewing some match. I was just chewing the fat.
Just chewing the fat, yeah.
And so I basically go, mate, I can't do it. For whatever reason, I can't do it. And then I go to Melbourne, I do the comedy festival, and I get smashed for a Holocaust joke.
Oh, I remember.
Absolutely smashed.
Yeah, I remember.
My first cancellation ever. And like to the point where they're talking about it in the Israel Times. Like mad, right? And all these people are mad at me.
It was a funny joke too. I remember watching the special. I can't remember the exact joke, but
basically what it was I actually can't remember the joke
verbatim.
But the general gist of it wasn't even the joke I said. It was my response to the lady who complained.
Yeah,
because she thought everything else was fine that day, and I did jokes about other horrible shit, but she thought that was fine. It was just you can never make jokes about Jewish people. Now, she emailed me this, and she basically... what the joke itself was about... Vegans, yeah, it was. It was about vegans. It was about being a vegan in my crowd... You should not feel comfortable. That's like being a Jew in... No, sorry. What was it? It was being a vegan in this crowd is like... And you go, no, if you get to know me and understand veganism, then maybe you'll like me. That's like a Jew in Auschwitz going, no, if you need to know me, maybe we'll be friends. Yeah. Anyway, Silly little joke, whatever. So a lady emails me blowing up, you piece of shit. She's laughed at everything else, but that's no good. Now I'm about to go on stage at this point, and she's like got me when I'm ready to fucking go, right? I'm ready to, because when I go out, I'm like fired up.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm pumped. Ready to go to work.
Oh, so this was just like an impulse. Yeah.
So I reply to her.
Yeah.
If you can't stand the heat, get out of the oven.
Yeah.
Goes down awfully, and I understand that.
Nothing but net from where I'm sitting.
I understand. Oh, it was great. I thought it was hilarious. A lot of other people thought it was great too. But I get where she's coming from and why she was angry with my response, because she's just sitting at home. This poor Jewish lady probably has parents who were involved in the Holocaust, and I just hit her with that. It's fucked.
Yeah. Well, no, it's comedy.
So it is, and so anyway, it goes massive, worldwide, all that shit. And thankfully, I just hadn't dressed up as Hitler 2 weeks before.
Dude, imagine.
That's the photo they would have used. That's what they would have ran with. The Dr. Phil, that's what they would have run with. Oh, have you noticed there's a Nazi war helmet behind Isaac in that particular
imagine the fucking...
Because I've got all this World War II memorabilia and war memorabilia. I've just recently got some sand from Gallipoli that sits there. And I've got... a German bayonet. I've got an American bayonet. I've got a World War II Marines knife. I've got all these really cool things.
Where'd the interest in that come from?
I've just always been fascinated with World War II. I think it stemmed from, like, my dad's always watched World War II documentaries. Yeah. Always. Like, just to go to sleep, it was weird. His dad does the same thing. Puts on an old film and just falls asleep. But also the miniseries Band of Brothers.
Yeah, right.
Have you seen that?
No.
It is a fantastic, probably the best series that has ever been made for TV. HBO made it, and it is absolutely... How long ago? This is 2000 and... I don't know. Can we have a look? What year?
Band of Brothers?
Band of Brothers. Man, just an amazing show.
HBO did some good shit, eh?
Yeah.
Crazy good shit.
Now, this was... Yeah, it was Steven Spielberg that directed it. So this is 2001.
97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Which is outrageous, right?
Yeah, outrageous.
And that
Dude,
probably...
how's the fucking Top Gun's like 99%?
I haven't seen Top Gun yet.
No, me neither, but
I'll have to
literally like 99%.
That's crazy.
Fucking insane.
Tom Cruise does all his own stunts.
Yeah.
Even in the last Mission Impossible, he flew a helicopter through crevices. Crevices? Crevices.
No, the Americans say crevasses.
Crevasses.
Yeah.
Crevices. Yeah, he's a madman. But this show came out, and it basically follows the story of a group of the 156th Airborne, I think off the top of my head, Easy Company. And from basic training, where they have this real pain in the ass, like commander, which is played by David Schwimmer. So this is just after Friends. So this is his first sort of serious role.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's weird because
be
you see
bizarre.
David Schwimmer there. But anyway, there's young kids, and then they drop into France on D-Day from the air. They drop in whilst the D-Day landings are happening, or just after, or just before. And they patrol around, and then they get involved with some firefights, and they're all aiming to meet up and all this type of stuff. And it just follows their whole story throughout Europe, and just their story about I can't remember the forest's name. Lordy, you might remember. But during the Battle of the Bulge, and they're in this forest, and they're dug into these foxholes, and because this is all like real stories about real people, and at the start of each episode, they have the real people talking about what it was like.
Wow,
which is hectic. And so they're in these foxholes, and there's these artillery shells going off, and the trees are exploding. And this is what they talk about at the start of each, or not the start of each episode, but this particular episode, they talk about the thank you, the Battle of the Bulge, the Ardennes forest in Belgium, Luxembourg, and France, and so it's a big fucking forest. But yeah, thanks, mate. The trees, like, they get hit with these artillery shells and they explode, and it's just a crazy environment, freezing cold.
Oh yeah.
And apparently it's just like the most insane environment that war has been fought in. Like, people were dying, they were freezing to death.
Just freezing to death.
And because it was such a tough situation to get people back in there, or get reinforcements back in there, they were there for ages. Oh. And I honestly recommend for anyone who enjoys war films to watch this. Like, it's just a fucking great miniseries.
Yeah, right. I will have to watch that.
I absolutely loved it. I didn't enjoy the second Band of Brothers that was about the Pacific.
Yeah, okay.
It just wasn't as good. And but when you have high expectations of 97%,
well,
it's going to be hard, you know.
We do this ride through Vietnam. We've done it a couple of times. We were sort of doing it every year, and then COVID happened. But just the war stuff when you ride through Vietnam, and I'd like take my drone. I'd be flying my drone wherever it looked cool. Fucking bomb craters.
Really?
Everywhere, dude. Just the entire fucking country was bombed.
Yeah.
And we went to like the Ho Chi Minh airfield where they had, the big air base and the war museums and just like fucking crazy, man. To go back to, everyone kind of carrying on an outrage and fucking virtue signaling and shit. It's just like,
it's because we have nothing to worry about.
We're so fucking lucky that
it's the best time to be alive ever.
Dude, we had nothing. We have nothing to fucking worry about.
Nothing real.
Our lives, you know what I mean? Like, we've just cruised along.
Yeah.
And it's just been, like, I said, actually said on the podcast right at the start of COVID, I was like, imagine if 2019 was it. Like, you just look at humanity's fucking stock curve, and it just peaked out at 2019.
That was it.
And then I'm like sitting here in 2022, halfway through this bitch, going like, shit, it's sort of not something you want to be right about, but fuck me dead, it kind of looks that way, right?
It definitely doesn't look like we are. Like, even things like the average age of death, like, that's starting to go down.
Really?
Like, people aren't living as long due to COVID over the last couple of years.
Yeah, we thinned out the herd.
Thinned out the herd a little bit. But this was a big issue. I mean, I remember in school, people were like, we've got an aging population.
Yeah,
well, COVID sort of come along and sorted that out. It did. Like, to an extent, not that bad in Australia. Like, I think personally the vaccines were good for people of that age. I don't think everyone needed them.
Yeah.
I don't think I needed it, but I took it so I could work. People of the age of 80 or 70 or whatever, okay, cool. You need an extra layer of defense. I get it. That's fine. I still think people should be able to make that decision for themselves, but whatever.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, man, it does seem like 2019 may have been the peak.
Imagine if you lived through the peak of humanity. You're like, I was there for it. It was fucking sick. You get on a plane whenever you want.
Do whatever you want.
Do whatever the fuck you want.
But think about how bad it would have been 100 years ago. 200 years ago, or even these people that used to just live out in the bush, and they wake up. Imagine how bad your skin would feel.
I think about it all the fucking time. Like, when we were in Europe, my skin was so fucking dry.
Yeah.
What did I buy? I bought fucking what the fuck was it? Shower milk. I couldn't read French.
Oh, shower milk. Beautiful.
I like opened up, I'm like, this looks like moisturizer. My skin was so fucking itchy and so dry that I put shower milk all over it.
Dude, one of my mates...
First world fucking problems, right? Like, how the fuck would I survive?
One of my mates he had really bad reaction to his skin. He thought he was putting moisturizer on, but he was putting fucking just like body wash on and letting it absorb into his skin. He was doing it for like 2 weeks, and then he broke out. Fucking idiot. But yeah, like, imagine how bad that would be.
Oh,
it'd be the worst.
And everyone that would complain, like, if you leave a comment on social media, basically, you'll die in the wilderness.
Yeah.
If you're the kind of person that could physically leave a comment that's like in any way cunty, you're dying in
like,
the
if you're one of those
wilderness.
people who's like, oh, you really shouldn't have said this. This is really, really mean.
Like the kind of person that says you can't say retarded.
Yes.
You won't survive.
You wouldn't survive.
It'd
be all over.
You'll be eaten by ants.
Yes. Yeah. Or in
you won't even get a good death.
In World War II,
you'll get a weird death.
The Russians and the Germans had a ceasefire to stop the wolves eating each other or eating them.
Fuck.
They actually had to hunt the wolves because there was these giant super packs of wolves going around and eating people on the front line. So they had to meet and they go, listen, we need to kill these fucking wolves. Like, that's the real world.
Yes.
That's the real world. Us complaining about...
And it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago. Us fighting in the streets over gender-neutral bathrooms or being forced to take a jab... Like, I don't think you should be forced, but people fighting about it in the streets, that's nothing in comparison to what can happen if everything goes to shit. Vladimir Putin, everyone thinks he's got cancer at the moment. If he really cracks it,
that's
it starts
sketchy,
you've got a man that has all of the
power,
control,
all the power,
and all of the nukes.
Yeah,
and he's dying.
I said this So my missus is Russian, so I've got a little bit of extra insight into that world as well, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I bet.
But I said literally years and years ago, I was like, imagine being Vladimir Putin and having the sharpest sword just in a sheath your entire life. And then what? You die?
You don't pull it out?
You die, never fucking pulling that out, and just seeing if you could Ned Stark some motherfuckers. Just swift, straight through the neck, and it's fucking over. Like,
scary.
As if you're going to be that guy. Like, presidents don't have that kind of power.
No.
Like, you really couldn't. I don't think, let's say, like, Trump was some deranged psycho that is that way inclined. I actually don't think that could happen, right? To where it's like, I feel like the buttons are too far away. Like, there'd have to be someone else in it. And there's no one.
There's too much.
No one
too many
else.
middlemen.
Exactly. Oh, Vladdy. Uncle Vladdy.
I don't know. I reckon Albanese might do it.
Who's that?
Anthony Albanese.
Oh, the new dude?
The Australian Prime Minister.
The new guy.
I reckon he might nuke someone.
You reckon?
Yeah, I reckon he might nuke
Just pull
Tasmania.
up a picture of this guy.
Anthony Albanese.
Well, I don't know much about him. Give me the rundown. Is he all right?
He fucks.
Really? He fucks?
He fucks.
Okay.
He fucks. There he is.
Cheeky old dog.
This man
He's
fucks.
played the pokies before,
Look
hasn't he?
at him here. Jacinda Ardern, the New Zealand Prime Minister. These guys started an OnlyFans yesterday to raise money.
Really?
No. But it looks like they could. It looks like they'd fuck.
100%.
Like, look at
There's
this.
some chemistry.
This photo right here, if you listen to this photo right here, they're getting a nice selfie together. There is no doubt in my mind that Jacinda Ardern has her hand around his cock right now.
And he's got doing the old like wrist cramp jobby, you know?
Yeah, and he's got a finger up her ass or something like that. They're talking foreign policy. It's a beautiful relationship. I
How
love
good.
it.
This is the new kid on the block.
This is him.
Man, crazy. We were in Europe for the election, so I'll be paying my $75 fine once again, like a fucking idiot that I am.
I hate that they fine people like that. It's fucking ridiculous.
You know what? I used to have a bit of a flag in the ground about shouldn't have to vote if you don't want to. Because like my thing is, if I'm not paying attention,
Yeah.
why the fuck should I get a say?
Why should you get a say? I think everyone should get a say, but you
you
should
want
have
it.
the ability to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
But finding someone a monetary value, taking that from their bank account because they said, I don't want to vote.
Yeah.
Or at least make it easier to vote. You know what? I'm a postal voter.
Amen.
They sent it to me. I actually...
Even that's too many steps, though.
I even had the time to look at the big ballot. In Australia, we have this giant ballot for the federal election. And there's like 100 fucking boxes. You got a number from 1 to a fucking 1,000.
See, that to me is not voting.
No.
That's like fucking... What's it called?
Shit is what it is.
Sudoku.
It's a Sudoku, yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly what it is.
So
I don't know how to play Sudoku.
And everyone, when they walk into the where you vote at the local primary school or whatever, when you go in there, everyone's sort of like, oh my God, there's 5 people behind me. I better hurry up.
Yeah.
At least with the postal vote, you get it sent, you get to actually look at it, and then you send it back off. Why aren't we doing that?
Yeah.
If you want to do that.
Hey, let's just do this.
I do all my banking on here.
That is...
Why can't I vote on that?
Hey, that's the only point that you need to make. I've had this fucking argument with so many people that are old. And I'm like, where's all your money?
Yeah.
Is it in your fucking bedroom? No, it's in a bank. How do you fucking access it? You got an app on your phone. Everybody the entire world's money is accessible on phones.
Absolutely.
And we can't fucking vote. Because I think that we should be doing direct democracy. There's no reason to, like, the whole representative democracy to me is just so fucking antiquated.
It's archaic, yeah.
Like, basically, when I grew up in Cairns and there was no cars or planes, definitely makes sense. You got to send a dude down with a bunch of other dudes and a bunch of horses to go down there and tell them what we want.
Yep.
I don't need that anymore.
No.
The gay marriage thing, to me, that was where...
That was ridiculous.
But it was so easy for me to go like, let's just everyone vote on your phone. If you want to vote, you can vote.
But Exactly.
If you don't want to vote,
why
you don't
should
have to vote.
a vote that's so fucking obvious cost us, the taxpayer, a fortune?
It wouldn't cost shit if it was just on the phone. And then it works. To me, it's like the perfect system, right? Because a bunch of people, let's say gay marriage is fucking no, you're not allowed to do it. That would be like an outrageous thing to me. Like I'm all for that.
Yeah.
So then I would be like, what the fuck? That's crazy. Like, why didn't we do that? And then someone goes, did you vote? And I'm like, oh no, I didn't vote. All right, well, maybe the next time that something comes around, and we'd go through this process for like basically every issue.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think about it with like Cairns has a crazy problem with crocodiles at the moment. I grew up there my whole life. We never had crocodiles in the places where we now have crocodiles. Like
so is that like a environmental
overpopulation?
Okay.
Yeah. So there's just crazy because you haven't been able to shoot them, which is a good thing because like at a point they got down to really low numbers. But then with all the conservation worked. Now every single fucking swimming hole in Cairns has crocodiles in it. That's not a good idea. We just don't need that many crocodiles, in my opinion. But then you get fucking Bindi Irwin, God bless her soul, doing great things for crocodiles, like net positive, really. But when it comes to this, she sends one tweet out when there's like any kind of legislation around culling crocodiles.
Really?
And then you get every fucking crony in Melbourne that's like, no, you can't shoot the crocodiles. And it's like, you ever been eaten by a fucking crocodile?
Yeah.
You ever had, like my uncle was a coroner in Cairns. He's done so many fucking autopsies of children being cut out of crocodile stomachs.
Jesus.
That's a real fucking thing.
And people's dogs.
So many dogs.
They go down to the watering hole.
Yeah.
And they get hit with a croc.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
so the point I guess I'm trying to make is like when you get direct democracy, it should be people that it's kind of like it affects their fucking life. And then you just, if you're living in the Melbourne CBD and you work for an advertising agency, like you probably just don't have a horse in that race. Yeah, so you're just not gonna,
no idea.
Yeah. So you go to a system like that, the people that it affects, and then they fucking vote on it. And then if it is something that does affect the mass population, like mining and oil rigs and offshore, like then fucking everyone get together and everyone have your voice heard.
Well, it's almost like the gay marriage vote. Like, who should be voting on that? Probably gay people.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, should you guys be able to get married? Yeah. All right, done.
Yeah.
Cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know? I guess there's sort of things that should just be changed automatically with that type of stuff. But, I mean, with the Bindi Irwin thing, here's the question. She's trying to stop crocodiles being killed. But people don't talk about what she does against the stingray populations.
I wonder if there's
She's
been
a genocidal maniac when it comes to
an absolute vendetta.
She's just up on like just ridges above the water with like two like Uzis.
Just standing on the deck of a fucking yacht, straight heli fishing her and Bob out the fucking dude. Oh my god. Like straight fucking Rambo. Like
they've got those big like the javelins that the Russian army's been using in the Ukraine. Just picking up a heat signature of a big fucking stingray swimming through the water.
They're like fucking Moby Dick style, just fucking straight harpooning these motherfuckers.
The poor fucking stingrays. Jesus Christ.
Fuck, well, I'm Team Croc.
Yeah, fuck them. I tell you what though, I'm against when people like get hit, like they get bitten by a great white, and people are like, oh man, you got to save the great whites, you know. Fuck them. Fuck them. If you bite a human, you're dead. All right.
You're done.
If that great white lived in the bush, like this giant monster scrawling around,
you just wouldn't go to the bush though, would you?
Would you not send the army in after that thing?
Yeah.
If this giant, like a great white, how big's a great white? This whole room?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not as big, but quite big. If that was walking around in the hinterland, you know, and taking out bushwalkers, you wouldn't say, hang on. That's his home. That's his home. You're entering his home. No. You go up there, send Bindi Irwin up there with a harpoon. She'd pull the dead stingrays off it, and she'd fucking take out that giant monster that's patrolling around killing people.
Can you imagine like the harpoon stack of just like all the stingrays you can fit on one fucking harpoon?
You know when they make those like spins of potatoes?
That's exactly what it looked like.
Can we pull up one of those spins of, what are they called? The potato spin thing? You know,
that's exactly what was on my fucking brain.
This is what I'm thinking. Potato, what do you call it? Fried potato
skewer.
Stick. Potato skewer. This is what Bindi Irwin is doing.
Straight up, dude.
There we go. Potato twister.
That is straight up fucking.
There you go. That's Bindia. That's in Bindia Owen's fucking oven right now.
Can you imagine if she has like an art installation in her like fucking place? It's just like the entrance and you rotate it. Oh, she's got
the she's got one of the eyes of the stingray that killed her dad, like Chubbs does.
Chubbs Peterson. But I got that bastard's eye though. Hey, my uncle actually did the fucking autopsy.
Of Chubbs?
No, of Irwin.
Oh, wow.
Crazy shit, yeah. Yeah, my uncle was the coroner up in Cairns for fucking forever. That's how I know, like, the whole crocodile thing, you know.
Was there any jokes told? Like,
dude, apparently they it was, like, gnarly, dude. I remember, like, where I was.
So do I. I was down in a cul-de-sac near my house. And
Craziest
someone told
day,
me. I was like, oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
So what happened?
So they, because everything was on, I fucking don't even know if I should be talking about this, but everything was on video. So they filmed the entire fucking thing.
Yeah.
And then they burned the tape.
Really?
Yeah, so it's gone. Apparently they watched it and then burned it.
Well, they would have just been filming.
It would have just been another fucking day in his life. Just every other day.
He pulls it out, because that was apparently the whole thing. It got him in the heart and he pulled it out, and apparently you're supposed to leave it in, but if you're someone and you're panicking and you're like, fuck, that's the natural reaction. I get this fucking foreign object out of me. It makes complete sense. And, you know, all jokes aside, fucking national treasure. Everyone loved him. Everyone loved him. Yeah. Absolute legend, right?
One of the best humans of all time.
Yeah.
Like, he's Dalai Lama level.
He is. And, like, I hope they're going around to just find kids who love Crocs and just naming them Steve Irwin, like the Dalai Lama. Yeah. But I was so shattered when that happened. My heart was broken.
Yeah.
So he pulls it out, and they're filming. They're like, "Yeah, we better keep filming. Got to film everything. You know, this is just—he's just got an injury. Let's film it." Goes into shock. Goes into cardiac arrest. Dead.
Yeah. Crazy, man.
And it happens quick, man.
Yeah.
That type of shit. We were leaving a show the other day in Ballarat, and there was a car crash. We think it was a car. We don't really know. But there was a dude, and we heard about it. And we saw all the sirens. And we went out. We drove past. And there was a guy getting hit with not a defibrillator, but like a compression machine just out in the front. May have died. I'm not sure. I hadn't heard anything. But that shit happens so fast. Like, someone can just be doing their thing, and then they're dead. Gone.
It's fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, I'd only just left school. I was like 17 or 18, I think. And I was actually working for the council. I was fucking, literally my job was to get a massive whippersnipper and just walk alongside the highway.
A slasher.
Yeah, straight up. Just 8 hours a day. And then we were literally pulling in to the depot. And I'm just like sitting in the back, fucking chilling with these random cunts that have worked for the council forever. It was just like the most depressing job in the world.
Yep.
And then that come on Triple J News, and we were probably 5 kilometers away from like where he was at the time. I was just like, what the fuck? It was such a trip, dude. But he was massive, especially up where we lived.
Yeah.
Just because there is, it blows me away. I've been talking about this more and more recently. Just how foreign the idea of crocodiles are to like the average Australian. And to us, it was just like a massive part of our life was worrying about crocodiles, like being safe around those areas. And just like, we used to go bush a lot. So it was just like a thing that you were just constantly dealing with. You know?
This topic, please keep talking. I'm going to pull something up and show you. Crocs up north, people just don't get it.
Nah, bro. They don't fucking get it at all.
People just don't understand it. Like, we were up there, and I'll have to fucking swipe through to find this on my YouTube channel. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. But we went up there.
Did you go to Green Island?
No, this is between Townsville and Cairns.
Yeah, right.
So a town called fucking something. Where is it?
Ingham, Cardwell.
Oh, here it is. It's on my YouTube, my second YouTube channel, Little Buttsman, called Swimming with Crocs. Now,
Rones,
if you can pull that up, Swimming with Crocs, Little Buttsman, LIL Buttsman. Now, this was tour manager Kai.
Yeah.
Right now,
Kai sounds like a psycho.
Kai is a psycho. Now, he claims that I told him to do this. I definitely didn't.
No.
You definitely didn't stop him.
So that's Kai there. Now if we... Hey, that's me. Wow.
What a beard.
What a guy. So if we skip along down the bottom to... Hey, Dixon. To where... Go down the bottom and just sort of like scroll along and I'll tell you where to... Keep going. So we did a show that's in Townsville. And there's a dog that tried to attack Claire. We went to a cave system. That was really cool. And then I think it's after this, we go to a town. Keep going. Sorry. Dixon, you're spraying yourself. You're going well. So there's Townsville. We're leaving Townsville, and this is where we were going. So we should come up here. Cardwell. That's what it was called.
Yeah,
you know Cardwell?
Yeah.
So keep going. This is Cardwell. No, it's not. This might not even be the right video, but it should be. Keep going. There it is. Go to there. Okay. So this, see.
Oh, nah. See,
warning.
Yeah.
I said to him, don't go in.
A chung means danger.
Yeah. So there's me. Look at that body.
What an eagle.
What a guy.
Fucking
this is Guy.
Kai's
Jumps
a rig.
in.
Fuck this.
So we said to this guy, mate, should we jump in there? And I said, don't do it. And the cameraman, Connor, he's like, no, do it. Or he may have said that. I don't know. Or maybe paraphrasing. Or maybe putting words in his mouth. And so we got heaps of hate about going in there. I didn't go in there. This is people were blowing up about Kai doing this. And then we got this message from a week later saying that they had spotted. So look, jumping off this fucking thing. He did it so many times. And then we got a message the week later of footage from that...
wow.
God, good. Footage from that actual joint with this giant 3 or 4 meter long saltwater crocodile.
Plenty enough to eat you.
Saltwater, yeah, it would be saltwater. Yeah. This salty, giant thing swimming there.
Yeah.
And I sent it to Kai and we were like, fuck, mate. Like, that's crazy. That is insane. I wonder if the footage is on there too. But it was just like, I was so it was unbelievable.
It's so hard to explain to people. So we ride bikes from Cairns to the tip of Australia and back. We just ride out of my uncle's garage. Takes about 10 days to do it. We always have a bunch of mates fly in from all over Australia. And the last time that we did it, there was me and my buddy from Melbourne. And we're fucking cruising along. We pull up for a piss. And there's like this giant saltwater lagoon just covered in lily pads. It is as crocodile territory as it ever gets. And there's basically would be one big male in there and then 100 females, like 50.
Really?
They're just, like it could be any number of females basically, right? And so, and there's that's just a fact. There's 100%. That's exactly what that is. Mm-hmm. And so I pull up for a piss on the tree, well away from there. And then my mate Thatcher's like, fuck yeah, how good's this? And he walks up and I was like, oh, don't go too much closer. Like, he's a couple meters. And then he walks up and just starts pissing in the fucking thing. And I'm like,
dude.
I'm like, bro, pinch it, crimp it. You got to bail. Like, start walking backwards. And then he didn't take it seriously. I'm just like, bro, you have no fucking idea. It's just like, it's done. Yeah. I'm not going in there to get you. No one's going in there to get you. You're never coming out. Like, you're fucked.
Why
so
risk it?
Fucked. Oh, dude, the people don't think it's like as gnarly as it is.
This is a dinosaur.
It's a dinosaur. Yeah.
If you go down just to the next video, there should be one. What's it? It's called breaking my manager's hand. I don't know if you want to go on to that.
Yeah.
It's just the footage of the crocodile.
Oh, really?
Breaking my manager's hand, little Buttsman. He fucking punched a tree, and we tried to break these. We're in a pine forest. I broke it because I'm a mad cunt.
Because you're massive.
And he broke his fucking hand. It was hilarious. Go to 5 minutes and 50 seconds. So this is down south in Victoria. Just there will do. So we're talking about this as the hospital when he got his cast on. There he is.
Oh, no.
Dickhead.
I've done that before.
Really?
Yeah. Punch my principal's door on the way out of being suspended.
So this is him, and then here's the footage of what someone sent us during that week of that. Look at the size of that. That's in that area.
So fucking crazy, eh?
And we asked a fisherman, thank you. We asked a fisherman who was there, like, is there any crocs around here? He goes, nah, mate, there's no crocs around here. And then they sent us that, and I was like, and even Claire, she went and put a feed in. And I was blowing up. I sound like such a fucking abusive husband. I was like, do not go in that water. I like full cracked it. I said, do not. And that's why, because it was a fucking giant crocodile getting around. What?
Sonia fucking Horner has blocked me on Facebook, the bitch.
Sonia Horner. Oh, there's this fucking there's this politician near where we live, and she's a local member for that area, and she was at this greyhound racing meet. And
you got greyhounds, right?
I got greyhounds. Yeah. I fucking hate it. I hate that shit.
Yeah, right.
Because it's man's best friend.
Yeah. It's pretty weird.
And so Rosie, our dog, who's a little darling.
Shout out Rosie.
Shout out to Rose.
She's listening.
10,000 followers on Instagram. She's doing well. She was treated like shit. She was a bleeder. So they would, you know how they do blood doping in sport?
No.
So what they do...
Well, yeah, but not in greyhound context.
Yeah, so in cycling, they would pull out... drain your blood, well not drain your blood, but pull out a big fucking pint of blood. They'd sort of get all the red blood cells, however they do that, centrifuge, that type of thing, and then put it back into you. So the red blood cells allows you to oxygenate the blood more, which gets to the muscle, which means that you'll be able to perform at a...
Which means Lance wins.
Yes, exactly. Like if you're not cheating, you're not cycling, basically.
Yeah.
So they did this with Rosie because she wasn't big enough to race. So they were on a weekly basis just draining her of blood.
That's crazy.
This is a dog. Like, this is your best friend, right? If you touch her ears, she screams because someone's grabbed her and fucking wreathed her like that. She's got a tattoo inside of her ear where they've tattooed her. She's not riddled with injuries, but she's got a lot of arthritis and stuff like that. And she just doesn't trust anyone because she's been abused.
Yeah.
This is my daughter we're talking about. Claire's parents, they have Gracie, who was another rescue that we got from the pound up in Newcastle. And she was pumped full of steroids. And this is what happens with these dogs. They get pumped full of steroids. And dogs often die because they have natural causes, cancers. You see a lot of dogs with big growths on them when they get a lot older. This is what happens when you pump a dog with steroids. These growths that will grow from like a young age and get bigger and bigger until they die, 14 years old or whatever, they increase the rate of growth.
Yeah.
Just like they increase the rate of muscle.
That happens in humans too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she had bone cancer, and then she was running around one day having a great time. Her femur explodes.
Oh, because there's a tumor in it.
Explodes, yeah. So much so it sounded like a gunshot going off. Oh. She's screaming, nearly died, the whole thing. They had to chop a leg off. It was just hectic.
Fuck.
And this all comes from the greyhound racing industry. I'm not against gambling. I think that it's great that you're allowed to gamble in a free society.
Just bet on the UFC.
Just bet on people, mate.
Yeah.
Just bet on people.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
Because they have a choice.
They have a choice. And I know, like horse racing, I sort of don't love that either, but at least these are thoroughbred horses that are worth $60K, $120, $2 million, whatever they are, and you're going to treat them pretty well. Dogs are a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
There's that ABC report a couple of years ago on Four Corners where they just find these mass graves of greyhounds. These are people's best friends. Like these dogs, and people are like, oh, they love to run. When they want to run, like any other dog.
They don't.
Sometimes they don't, mate. Yeah. And anyway, so this
is there any like push to like I guess
ban it?
Yeah, ban that shit.
Mike Baird was the Premier of New South Wales a couple of years ago. He pushed it pretty hard. He came out and announced it.
Yeah, right.
He said we're going to ban it.
Fuck, good on him.
Then he backflipped.
Yeah.
So whoever's calling the shots there, this is the Premier, this is the leader. He got scared and backflipped. So there's big money in this shit.
Massive money in it, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, this Sonia Horner or whatever fucking name is, she goes and starts talking about what a great thing it is for Newcastle and this area here.
Is it big in Newey?
Not really. Like it's not like
just normal.
It's just pretty normal, right?
Yeah,
It's like anywhere else. It's banned in Florida. I found out today.
Really?
Banned in Florida. They got guns and
that's the weirdest thing in Florida.
AK-47s, but
hey, good on them.
But they're not going to have fucking not going to abuse the dogs. So at least they've got some moral standpoint. But anyway, she's talking about how good it is, how wonderful it is, and I'm no doubt that there are greyhound trainers that look after their dogs, but the industry itself is not a beautiful thing. It's not.
No.
I know it's how you make money. And that's great that you can, feed your family, but find another way to fucking do it.
Yeah.
All right? Shut the fuck up and find another way to do it.
Taxi drivers had to do it when Uber came along.
Exactly. Adapt and overcome and stop abusing your dogs, you cunts. Anyway, So I basically just blew up at her today, and
sick.
And I'm gonna find a way to get her out of fucking office at her next election. She's fucking found an enemy, and that's me.
Right now, she's blocked me on everything.
She blocked you. Fuck her.
I hate her. I already hate her. Pull up a picture of her, Ryan.
Yeah.
What's it? Hang on, let me get a name before we fucking just
pull up some random chick and be like, "Fuck this chick."
If you go to my Facebook page, I shared it.
Yeah, that's just fucking weird. And you are right. There'd be some great people in there, and there's probably a little bit of industry around it, but it's just like, fuck, we probably just don't need it.
Yeah,
unless there's some like crazy regulations. You know what I mean? It becomes like a heavily regulated thing, and then maybe you encourage like some good people, I guess.
There we go. Oh, she deleted. I think she. Oh no, there it is. Sonia Horner MP. So that's not her. That's just a lady with a dog, and this is That's her in the black coat.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that one of the creams seems like a nice lady.
Yeah.
The other one doesn't look as nice.
Man, I don't know. Like she might. This is the problem. Like she might think that and Nolsey was there, so you know it's a good
fucking good time.
You know they've got their fucking.
Who said something to me the other day where they were like, "Yeah, fucking had Shannon Knoll at the party," and I was just like, "How is that a claim right now?"
So last night, Newcastle hosted the world's richest greyhound staying race at the Ladbrokes Gardens Newcastle Greyhounds. This is a massive coup for our region. Is it? Is it really? A fucking dog race? The winner, Miss Ismay, took home 500k. 500k. Okay. Did she take home? Did the dog take it home?
You split it with the pup.
Thank you, Newcastle, New South Wales. Greyhound Racing New South Wales and the Gardens, who put on a great night. The place was packed for the big race with Shannon Knoll performing in the crowd. He took time from the strip club where he kicked off. And, you know, I know that not all these people are abusing dogs. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah. I just think as a whole, when you put money into a betting on a dog to perform, I can't do it because it's man's best friend. I've got this dog, Rosie, and Littlefoot, my other greyhound, who do everything with us, and we treat them like children. And yet you've got these people who, you know, if they don't perform, they'll, not these people here, but other people who will hit them over the head with a hammer and kill them because they're not performing.
It's pretty fucked up.
Man, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah, you'd have to show me, for me to be on board with it in any way. You bent this bad boy too, I think. For me to be on board in any way, shape or form, you'd have to just show me some like, you'd have to do the full North Korea media tour.
Yeah.
Where they just show you like the fake fruit and shit.
Yeah.
But you know, like, take us for a walk.
Look how happy they are.
And it's got to be random, and it's got to be, you know, like completely unannounced. Just fully take us through, show us everything, and then if it like looks, you know, like it's above board, then maybe.
But like you see the photo there with the muzzle on, like this is ridiculous. These dogs aren't violent creatures.
It's so weird too, right? Because that creates such a weird thing. Because I remember being a kid and being super scared of greyhounds, so like when I was young, you know. But then you kind of grow up and you're like, it's just a fucking dog.
We were walking with Rosie when we first got her, and if you go to the main post in the comment section, my comment will be the top comment because I'm a mad dog. I put up a photo of open her up. It should have a couple of. I think her post's got 1,000 likes, and mine's got like 800 or 600 or something. She might have deleted it. Keep going down. There's a photo of Rosie and I in there. Hopefully somewhere, unless it's been deleted.
She probably has deleted, yeah.
Or it might be on. It might be on my page anyway. And it's just like Rosie's a little nana sort of thing. Yeah, it is on there. But that's her.
Yeah.
She's just a little darling.
Yeah.
And the fact that these dogs are put down when they're not performing, not by these people that are here, by others.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. I just think it's not on, and it's all this cash involved with gambling and all that type of stuff that is causing politicians to play by those rules. Like, you can't say that Mike Baird decision wasn't from someone calling the shots.
100%.
Like, it has to be, right? Yeah. Because he can't backflip on that. He came out and said how bad it was, the industry, and then 2 weeks later he's like, no, we're good. It's good. It's a good place.
I changed my mind.
Come on, mate.
I checked it out. The math adds up.
This is all. I've got no evidence of this, but surely someone in there is just
quacks
going,
like a duck, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, that's where to fucking come back to the whole voting on your phone thing.
Yeah.
Like direct democracy. Like let's say everyone's got the fucking app on their phone and then you've got to read, it's like, those terms and conditions where you can't like go to the next thing until you read it.
Yep.
You got to read the like the left side, and then you got to read the right side. You got to click your way through, and then you got to answer some questions showing that you kind of semi-understand the left side, and then the right side, and then bang, you get your vote. How the fuck do you pay off everyone? Like, you get that one guy. It's so easy to buy one corrupt politician,
one police
or
officer,
two,
one whatever.
or one party, or infiltrate like the NRA, by just donating. That's the perfect example of this. Biden going like, what's it going to take for us to get rid of these guns? It's like, you're the fucking president.
Was that Bill Clinton?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I just tried to do my best, like, dopey old American dude.
But
that goes to show the fucking power that the
Money
NRA
talks, man. Money
has
talks.
more. So, and I think that you look at like a mining fucking like Rio Tinto, right? So they want to start a new mine or some shit. They can't just bribe 2 or 3 politicians or one party. They've all of a sudden got to bribe all of Australia. So we just get here and we say like, make it worth it.
Yeah.
What are you going to do for us, bro?
Yeah.
You want this fucking new contract? It's going to be worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. Come on.
Yeah.
Just hook it up.
And like all the people that were really negative to what I posted about it was just, they all look the same. Just fucking drongos.
Yeah.
Just blokes all fucking, I like betting on the dogs.
Yeah, but fuck, it's good to go to the dogs.
Good to go to the dog races, mate. I like the dog
There's a
races.
fucking titty bar going at fucking on Thursdays.
Go and bet on the... How about you pay your mortgage first, then fucking come and talk to me, you dumb cunt. Anyway, it pissed me off this morning, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's a unique position that you're in, where you would have to deal with so much bullshit, but you also do have the chance to affect some change.
Yeah.
Like you actually can create some momentum with certain things.
Some real change in the world.
I'm not being silly. Like it's true.
No, well, look at what Friendly Geordies did.
Oh man, dude,
That's massive, right?
massive. But how's they got fucked by that whole Google thing the other day?
Yeah,
That ain't good.
I'm filming a video on that tomorrow.
That ain't good.
No, that's,
I don't
very
know
bad.
That's bad for like everybody.
Yeah.
When that happens.
And as far as what I said before about Sonia, I take it all back. She's a great person, a beautiful human being, and
I do as well.
Don't sue me.
This show is completely satire.
Completely satire.
This isn't even real Red Bull.
No, it's all
just
pretend. Go the dogs. Woo! Yeah, weird.
Super fucking weird, man.
Like Google just went, no.
But Australia did some weird shit with like Facebook too.
Yeah, with the whole you need to pay us more or something like that.
Yeah, with like the whole the news stuff that
and then they took all the news sites down, which was really fun.
Bizarre, dude. What's the Australian government up to? Some weird shit going on.
Well, they smell like they've lost control. They've lost control of pushing whatever they want to push. When you've got a country like Australia where Rupert Murdoch runs the news, allegedly, at the vast majority of it, and you can see it. Like, and I saw it personally when my old man retired from rugby league. He ran the Players Association, which was a union for rugby league players.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And he got hammered by News Limited every day in every paper that they were involved in. Hammered.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to push this narrative that he was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Dirty unionist, all this type of stuff. And this is just what happens with politics. If you have the power of the press in your back pocket, then you know that you can push whatever narrative you want.
100%.
And that's dangerous, particularly in Australia. We've only got 20 million people here. And we've only got, let's say, 4 or 5 news outlets that people even care about. And if most of them are owned by one person, that's not good. That's not good. So,
if there's now, I guess, a legal precedent for... Because, like, what Friendly Geordies did was incredible, man. Like, there was some real fuckery going on, and then he had the audacity and the tenacity to actually
believe it.
Figure it out and follow it through, and then he ended up fucking getting a result, like a legitimate... He influenced politics. Like, fucking powerful, man.
He put out a video last week about the Fixated Persons Unit, how they wanted to sweep Barilaro's house after he was there and made that video. They spent $12,000, that's what they were going to spend, on sweeping the house for bugs. And it's like, mate, this is an Airbnb that anyone can hire for a couple of $1,000s a weekend, and you wanted to sweep it for bugs with money from the government? taxpayers' money. So it's just a whole, and even this, I don't know, the whole thing's fucked. Politics just does my fucking head in. Like even Albanese, I like Albo, I don't mind him. I know he's jerking off or getting jerked off by Jacinda Ardern, as we said earlier. But he's human.
He's got a dick and it needs rubbing.
And now he goes and pays the French $800 million to say, I'm sorry about the whole submarine deal. Yeah. Did we need $90 billion worth of submarines?
Don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think we definitely did. Do we have like the ability to actually utilize submarines from a country that's so far away from everywhere else? Maybe there's issues in the South China Sea that we need to send submarines in, but then everyone will freak out because they don't want nuclear power.
All right, how's this is, I guess, the general problem here. People think that the nuclear submarines are things that are just like going to be firing off nukes left and center. No, they run on nuclear power. Okay, that's just, we're not buying, this isn't fucking Austin Powers. We're not buying submarines and freaking laser beams.
Nuclear.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's
nuclear.
Like, even there's just a fucking problem that the average person just like doesn't even know that. No. And then you see headline, nuclear fucking subs.
Yeah, and then everyone panics and freaks
like,
out.
when I need to buy it, it's like, oh my god, what the fuck are you doing?
The whole nuclear thing. I'd love to see nuclear energy.
It makes the most sense.
It's like, you want clean power? That's your power.
Just use this little bit of shit that just like runs forever.
And sure, it might, fucking ruin the environment it's in for the next 100,000 years. Put it in Broken Hill.
Yeah, put it in a couple weird places where no one goes.
No one goes.
We got fucking heaps of it. That's all of Australia.
No one lives there.
All of Australia. Dude, that's the thing. Like, I lived in America for 8 years. I went to fucking almost all of it. I was just like, this is just Australia that no one lives at.
Yeah.
Like, this is where...
It's the same size.
Yeah, this is where we don't live. And you all live in, like, this shit. All of California. All of Arizona. All of Nevada. All of Utah.
Yep.
That's Australia where no one lives.
Yep.
It's fucking bizarre.
Australia is the same size as the mainland America, and the population of LA plus some immigrants live in Australia.
That's the craziest part, dude.
We were just there. It's fucking. It's a different place. I'll tell you that much. Different.
All of the. Whenever I used to get asked all the time by people like, "Oh, what's the main differences between here and America?" I'm just like, 300 million people. So many fucking people.
Yeah.
Because that is like, Australia's fucking weird with 25 million. 10x that shit.
Yeah.
And some.
And that's why you
and
see
you just
so
got
many.
The craziest, weirdest shit of all time.
Yeah. In Australia, we might have, if we've got 26 million people, we might have 10 potential Hitlers.
Yeah.
How many Hitlers are there? Or how many fucking Kim Jong-uns are just hiding in their parents' basement? Like, that's concerning.
And there's not enough of them to like congregate and make it a thing.
Yeah.
Like 10 dudes get together. There's just 10 fucking weirdos.
Yeah.
But yeah, you 10x that with America, and you've actually got some weird people that can
our
do some
first
shit.
day in New York, there was that subway shooting that recently happened.
Oh, I didn't even hear about that one.
Yeah, well, you don't. Like, there's just too much. But we got on the subway, and I said to my mate who we were meeting up when we were getting off, this is our first time riding the subway in New York. It's a bit of a nervous sort of thing. You've never done it before. Yeah. And I said to him, we're going to go jump on the subway now. We lose reception because we're in the subway. And then he rings me like 5 times, and I ring him. I'm like, what's wrong? He goes, there was a subway shooting in Brooklyn. And I was like, oh, fuck, really? Like, which was like 4 or 5 stops away from us.
And that don't matter.
No, it's certainly
still in the
scary.
same tunnel, G.
And then that next day, we're on the subway again, and it was pretty quiet. No one wanted to go on it. But I was like, fuck, what's the chances? What's the chance of another terrorist attack in New York?
Super high, bro. Don't do that.
So I jump on the subway, and like on the subway with us.
Was your fucking tour manager with you? You were just literally trying to get him shot.
There was no, he wasn't. And then it was just Claire and I, a family with a stroller, some very homeless man down the end who was just 30 insane.
AR-15s probably.
And probably. And what about that kid in Texas? He had like 10 grand worth of ammunition. Is that right? Someone said that the other day. So I don't know how that happened. Anyway, and then
yeah, you just bought it. That's how that happens.
But how?
You just buy it.
How?
No, you just buy it.
$10,000.
It's legal.
No, but I know. But how does he? He's 18 years old. How does he have 10 grand?
Crypto. Ronan has Dogecoin. He's 19.
But do you have 10 grand to spend on ammo?
Not yet, bud.
Which doesn't mean that he won't. So anyway, we're on the subway, and we're riding along, and then an announcement comes over.
Oh, fuck all this.
Right? Is that what happened? Yeah. Yeah, announcement comes over. And it's just, someone just goes, fuck her in the pussy?
Were you just fully expecting like some...
That was all they said. So then we stop, and then a couple of people get on.
So good.
A couple of people get on, and this is where everyone panics. So we've all heard the fuck her in the pussy. That was it. We've all heard that. And then these guys get on, and then the driver of the subway goes, or the train goes, can we have the police to the rear carriage? We have intruders. So all these people are like, oh, fuck, Christ. And they all like run off. And we're just like, yeah, it's just kids.
Yeah,
Someone's just got a hold of the microphone at the back. So anyway, we go along to the next fucking stop, and the lights go off.
In the subway.
In the subway. Which I don't know if you've ever experienced that. Is terrifying. You can't see a thing. And everyone's like, oh shit, the lights are off.
This is it.
And this is it. It's all over. And then the loudspeaker goes over again. And they're like, fuck her in the pussy. And we were like, okay, we're safe. We're safe.
That is so
That's not Allahu Akbar. We're fine, all right? That's going to be all right. You hear that, then you're fucking worried.
Yeah, you're in some real trouble.
But nah, man, America was cool, but it was a bit sketchy. I found the red states were the best.
Yeah, okay.
Texas and Florida had a great time. New York, maybe it's just New York and LA. LA was a shithole.
Really?
Just the worst.
I haven't been there in years now.
The worst people. Fuck. New York was cool, but it's a typical capital city. Like, you know, it's the Big Apple, the city that never sleeps, fucking all that shit. Crazy people everywhere. Like, the amount of mental illness that is there is insane. Like,
it's just all there for you to see. Like, there's nowhere for it to be.
Exactly. You can't go 10 minutes without seeing someone yelling at themselves.
Oh, it's gnarly, eh?
And I look at that, and you look at all these gun problems, and you think, okay, there's a connection here.
Yeah,
there's absolutely a connection here. And if you're in America, and you know, for your American listeners, I don't know how spot on this is, but this is roundabout. It is tough to get into a doctor. It's tough to get treatment. It's expensive, and people just don't do it.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, like, we got a lot of American listeners, and I fucking love America. Did a lot for me.
Yep.
But in terms of just like objectively looking at it, most of America is almost a third world country. And I've been through all of it. I've probably been through more of America than most Americans.
Yeah.
Like, I've driven across the country multiple times.
Look at Skid Row, man. How does that exist?
Bro, people don't get it, eh? It's right there. And apparently that Skid Row is just like most of downtown LA now.
Yeah.
Downtown LA, I went there a couple times. Actually did a shoot with Vern Troyer.
Really?
In downtown LA. It was one of the only times I was ever there. And I remember how fucking sketchy it felt.
Yeah.
And then I saw a few concerts. Like, there was always some, like, saw Riff Raff there, which was fucking pretty
Sick.
dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just get in there. I was actually telling Rones when we were in Barcelona, I was like, man, I used to just run bulk red lights. I never, ever stopped at red lights when I was in downtown LA, or when we had a sponsor for the team that was in Compton. I used to just run red lights in Compton. It's like so fucking real.
It's sketchy,
but then
everywhere you go.
The crazy part of it, though, so I moved around a fair bit, but one of the last places I lived was this place called Playa Vista, which is kind of right near LAX, Santa Monica, Venice. And Rosecrans Avenue was we were a couple of streets off Rosecrans, right? Multi-squillion-dollar address if you're living on that part of Rosecrans. But then that same Rosecrans just goes all the way into Compton. So you've just got this one fucking road. If you follow that thing for 15 miles, you are getting like into a war zone.
Yeah.
And then if you go 15 miles up this way, multi-squillion dollar.
You may as well be in the Ukraine.
It's for real.
We landed in LAX in the morning, and then we got on the bus, whatever, and then it's such a culture shock when you land in America, because it goes from you've been in Australia, everyone's polite, nice.
Oh, LAX is the worst.
And then you land, and you're just like, oh fucking, it's just
what
crazy.
did I do?
It's just it's insane. Do I smell like what the fuck? And we went straight from our hotel. Whenever I go somewhere overseas, I always stay awake until nighttime their time.
Yeah.
And then that sort of helps me beat the jet lag.
Flog yourself on day one.
Yeah, that's it. So we did like 20,000 steps day one. We went down to Santa Monica and walked along there. And it was just like within 5 minutes, we'd seen 100 homeless people, someone smoking a crack pipe when we landed and drove to the airport, like just smoking a crack pipe. And then just a nude woman, like an old homeless lady, just nude, showering in the public showers outside at the beach that people use to just get sand and salt water off them, just nude, with the biggest bush. And that maybe made that video about why I hate bushes.
Dude, I saw when we're in
pull up a bush.
when we're in just open up the door.
Dickie's got a Guernsey coming.
No, you're right.
Just in that kitchen area.
Just like when we were in where did we stop in the morning? We stopped there. Oh, when we were at Perth Airport. We're flying back from Perth the other day. I saw a chick that had hairier legs than me.
Gross.
Like when your mum's like, don't stare, it's rude. Fuck, I was rude.
Yeah.
I could not. I was behind her in line, so my eye line was kind of like acceptably, just looking like no shit. Longer and curlier than your arms.
And I know that it's natural.
Hectic.
I don't care. Sort that shit out.
We've moved on.
We've moved past it.
We wear clothes.
Yep.
Chicks wear G-strings. They try not to be super fat and they fucking shave their arms.
Have a go. Have a go. Every day I wake up and I do everything I can.
I brush my teeth.
Sometimes. I brush my hair. All right. I put gel in it sometimes. I try to look my best.
Wear some deodorant.
And then you...
Have the audacity.
No, do your thing, but fucking get away from me.
Hey, do your thing. Just don't expect me to fucking try and court you.
Get out of me fucking sight.
It was pretty wild though, like full on. I haven't seen that for so long. Because I remember when I was at school, and you get to that weird age where the chicks start shaving their legs.
Yeah, because they start
they start figuring it out. Like it kind of gets a little bit long. They're going through puberty.
They're dating a kid in year 12. Yeah,
year 9, year 12. But there's like a transition, and then it becomes like really apparent to you that this is a thing that like girls are supposed to do as they get. It's fucking weird social conditioning.
It is social conditioning, and you can argue that it was bought in by the razor companies to sell more razors, and that may very well be it. But it's here. It's here to stay, and this is my hill to die on.
Yeah, no, you got to plant some flags every now and again.
Greyhound racing and hairy chicks. Nah.
Veganism. Get the fuck out of town.
Now, I've got a show here tonight in the Gold Coast, and I have to go back and get changed and go out there and film. And I'd like to thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. Finally, we did it after all these years of me being a dog.
No.
But thank you very much. And what you're doing is great, and you've got a great show. You're killing it, brother. And
appreciate it, mate. I've enjoyed it. Yeah, any open invite.
I'm up here all the time, so we'll have to do it again.
And it's just fun. It's just fun. Sit down, talk some shit, get some funny TikToks out of it.
Bloody hell, and I need to do a wee-wee.
Done. Thanks for coming,
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.